Welcome everyone again to our fourth week about the HubSpot Summer Camp. Today we're going to cover how to increase conversions. And I know the date on this is wrong. Let's just say I was in a fantasy producing this on the 2nd of August. Today is the 4th of August, I know. But this is when I finalize these presentations on my weekends. So we're going to talk about how to increase conversions, and I just want to first set the stage because I know conversions is a tricky topic for marketers. When we began, we talked about, how to increase traffic. Increasing traffic is relatively easy, right? Just do as much PPC ads as you want, you'll get the traffic eventually. Getting qualified leads, we discussed that last week, and again, getting qualified leads just means, making sure you have some parameters that define what are your ideal leads and you're collecting that data about these contacts. But increasing conversions, let me tell you, if you are a marketer who can actually achieve that goal, you are a champion marketer, because this is the most difficult part of any marketing funnel for any marketer to do. Really, because you can get the traffic in your database, you can get those leads there, but to move them through that funnel and to take different actions, especially after they download your ebook, that's one conversion. But how to get them talking to sales, it's considered another conversion. And this is generally very difficult for us to get done. So today I'm going to cover a lot about that. Gal is going to help me through as always. We're going to talk about the different tactics that we will show you how we use HubSpot really to improve companies' conversions. And then, I want us to really share our secrets. So once again, I hide nothing. This is a webinar and a workshop that we share with you what works for us and why we are successful with our clients. So we will share with you 8 CRO strategies that you can implement right away. We also share with you tools to consider to increase your conversions, which tools you can actually use. And we will also give you some quick fixes that you can implement right after this webinar this week in order to improve your conversions. So these are our secret sources, but we're always happy to share with you because we want you to succeed, whether or not you're a client of ours. We do want to see you succeed in everything you do. So diving right in, I want to first set the stage, and I again remind you, connect to our HubSpot Tribe group on LinkedIn. So if you're not there yet, make sure you do it. I send the link in our emails right after every call, so make sure you get it and you join us there. But we discussed, first of all, what is a conversion, and I want to set this stage because it's important for us to understand what we mean by a conversion, right? So first of all, a conversion is really defined when a website visitor takes a desired action, whether it is that they downloaded an ebook, whether they signed up for your webinar, whether they signed up on your contact us form. Any action that contact took to sign up and give their information in exchange for some information from you is considered a conversion. Now, why is this important? It's basically because if you have a website where people are just coming to your website and they take no action, then it makes no sense that you exist, because generally what you're doing is really having a brand awareness website. You just want people to come and see how pretty you are. But if they take no desired action, then it means that that's not translating into revenue for your company. So your goal is not just to increase traffic and to attract traffic, but your goal is also to make sure that those people are taking some type of action. So when you're checking your conversion rates, you're actually checking the health of your strategy and making sure that it makes sense, all those campaigns you're running and the way your website in the first place is laid out. But how do you really build a conversion path? So this is really one of the most tricky parts, because everybody talks about conversions, but most people don't have a plan. And these are the 4 elements you really need to understand about conversion paths. First, you need to attract and create some level of awareness about your product, right? So when it is you're thinking of conversions, you have to think about what point of your marketing funnel do you generally want to bring traffic or bring awareness to. So whether it's the top of the funnel where you just want them to, download an ebook or sign up for your blog, this is one thing. Or do you want them to book a meeting with sales? And how do you get them to do that, as we spoke of? The second part of that path is determining your endpoint, right? What is the end goal? Which means that after they do all those actions, what do you want to really achieve? Is it that you want to make sure that you've closed 10 deals this month? Is it that you want to make sure that you have X amount of downloads for your ebook? You have to remember what is your endpoint and define that clearly as part of your strategy. And the third part is really to chart that course, right? Really to lay out all the different parts that this person can take. Because if you remember, our funnel will always look like this from the beginning when inbound marketing started. It literally looks like a funnel. But today, people come into that funnel in different parts, right? They can come from the top, they can come from the middle, they can come from the bottom. So you have to make sure, regardless of the action they take, that you have a plan in mind of how are you actually going to convert them regardless. And of course, the last part is analyzing the information. You cannot convert someone if you're not analyzing the information and making sure that it's actually working for you. So this is the goal always of what you need to make a conversion path. But it's one thing to understand that journey, but the next thing is to understand what really makes a good conversion path, right? It's not enough to just show up and have a webinar like we are doing today, or to have an ebook and put it out there. You need to understand what are the different things you really need in your inbound marketing toolkit to make that conversion strategy work. And these are 4 elements you need to have really to help your leads convert. One is to have appropriate content that is contextually related to whatever the situation is, as well as whatever your product is. So if you're going to do an ebook, and let's say, you're from 1 Hour Translation and you're going to do an ebook about best strategies for translating your content, it has to be something related to your business, and it has to be something that really provides value to your audience. The second and most important thing is about your landing pages. You must speak to your personas. Remember, we did that in the first session, how to define your personas. So you must make sure that your landing pages are speaking to that persona. We will talk a bit about CTAs in this session, because I'm telling you, I think this is the most important part of your conversion process, is making sure you have attention grabbing CTAs. It's not enough to just write download now or download here or learn more. You have to be creative in your CTAs and make it very more actionable. And of course, your thank you pages. I cannot tell you how many times we like to have shortcuts, right? We want to create a landing page and take people straight to the asset, which is amazing. And sometimes it's necessary. But if you really have a poor conversion optimization track record, you have to spend the time into building thank you pages, because on those thank you pages, you can lead people further down the funnel. So yes, they came to download your ebook, but you can take them to do another action, like let's say, book a meeting with your sales, or see a case study, and take more actions that will actually make them convert and move them further down your funnel path. Now, these 7 points I'm outlining here, again, is just stressing to you how to choose the right conversion point, right? So as we talked about, you have to make sure that you have a good value proposition. So people will not give you the information or give you any exchange of anything if you don't show what is your value and what is making you unique, and why they should exchange your information for this specific piece of content. Again, you have to make it relevant. Like everything else, it has to be relevant. It has to be urgent. It has to declare some level of urgency. So you would often see that the best performing conversion pages typically comes from B2C clients. I don't know about you, but I'm super guilty about this. I'm scrolling through my Instagram, and I see an ad pop up about this lovely facial equipment that you can do home facials with. And I click on it because I just want to see what the facial is and what price it happened to be. And then they give you all of this thing. You see the big sign, limited time offer. You have 3 days to purchase this. If you purchase this, you get X, Y, Z. So you see how B2C landing pages are built to create that level of urgency that, trust me, many times I click out, I get off my bed, I go for my credit card, and I make sure I purchase then. Why? Because they have created that level of urgency for me. And most times B2B companies don't really know how to translate that level of urgency. So we'll talk a bit about that later on, how to really use urgency tactics in your B2B content. Of course, you need to be clear. It's important for your content to be extremely clear and not to try to get people to do too many things, but show them the exact value they get and make it very succinct. Create some level of anxiety if you could, of course, and not to have any distractions. So you have to eliminate any level of distractions. Don't have another CTA button on that landing page. Don't ask them to do anything more than what you're asking them to do right now in that moment. I can show you an example of a really badly designed website page soon enough that you would understand that when you hit a website page, it has too many CTAs going on. People feel like, okay, that's too much information, and they freeze. And of course, building out your optimization strategy so you understand at which point people convert more and where they convert less, and figuring out if you have to give up pieces of that content. Now, that brings me to a very important point of understanding conversion optimization. So most people, again, we get very caught up in our key terms and our trendy words. So everybody talks about CRO, conversion rate optimization, or TTRs, and all those different things. But what does that really mean? Because a lot of people feel like it's about just looking at the numbers and saying, what are my conversion rates? But it's not just about that. When you talk about conversion optimization, you must also think about your personas and how are you actually relating to them? How are you adopting a mentality that grows with their needs and changes as they change? Think about yourself. What you were like yesterday and last year, you're not like today. You want different things for your life. You want different products today. Even if you bought a product last month, you don't want something similar again this month, right? Your needs have changed, your urges have changed. So it's the same thing for your buyers. So you have to keep your finger on the pulse, as they would say, to understand what it is they're buying now and what it is that they're most interested in, so you can change your content to relate to that. For example, many of us marketers during the Corona time when they started, we had a lot of content about, oh, we know you're home and you don't know what to do and you don't know how to work from home. So here are some strategies, or here are what we're doing to help you work from home better. Okay, it's been 6 months we've been working from home. So nobody wants another email trying to tell them about Corona. Nobody wants another email trying to tell them how to work better from home. Okay, we got the message. We understand that we are failing terribly. So if this is still in your content, you need to realize that at this point, if your conversion rates are dropping, it's a good time to look at that and switch it out. So make it more relevant to what the people are experiencing right now. So one more warning is that this level of optimizing your conversions is not generally a quick fix, although we will give you some quick fixes at the end, but you don't generally see results overnight. So don't think because you're going to change something today, tomorrow morning you're going to open your computer and see, oh my God, my numbers went up. Unless you're giving away a free Audi, then I will definitely be there to click many times. But the point is, your conversion rates don't just change quickly if it is that you just implemented them. So again, I ask you be patient, okay? Implement some of the tactics we're going to discuss today, but be patient about the results. Now, when you're implementing a conversion optimization strategy, you have to follow 5 main steps. As I mentioned before, you have to make sure you have a clear objective. What do you want to achieve in this conversion optimization strategy? I will show you shortly how to establish a baseline. Many of us talk about our conversions are not good, but what is good? Good is always relative to something else. You must be able to compare what conversion rates are for your industry or for your companies, or what it was last year to this year, or last month to this month. You can't just, come up with a strategy and come up with goals without understanding where you were before, how you compare to others. You need to actually have some level of hypothesis as well, because it is not like a clear-cut what I will call a ability for you to define what is actually going to happen when you do certain actions. So you have to have a level of hypothesis where you say, okay, if I put out this blog content or this gated piece of content, I expect X number of leads, or I expect them to take this action and then move on to sales. It might not happen like that, but you have to have at least that hypothesis so you can clearly define what are the next actions they need to take. And of course, test, and analyze your data, okay? It is not a one-fix-all kind of strategy. You have to test it over time and see what's working for you. Now, one of the things most people are confused by in conversion rates are, what is it that we actually measure? What is a conversion rate? So the basic and most popular formula is about measuring how many leads you generate compared to your website traffic. So if your website traffic is 100,000 visitors a month and you are generating 1,000 leads per month, then your conversion rate is 1,000 divided by 100,000 multiplied by 100. So if my calculations are correct, it's almost going to be like what? 100%, 10%, something like that. So this is how you calculate your conversion rate. Exactly. So you have to be careful of how it is that you are measuring it. This is the most popular formula. So I will send you this slide so you have it as well anyway in addition to the video. But the goal is these are the conversion rates that you have to measure. You also have to look at how many net new customers you're getting. So it doesn't stop just at how many leads you're generating, but you should also look at how many net new customers you're generating. So you're going to look at the revenue goal divided by the average sales price to understand your new customers at net goal. And one of the last things most people do not calculate, but it's important, it's about your lead goal. And your lead goal is really how many new customers you're closing compared to your lead to customer close rate. So you basically take your leads divided by your customers and then take that number and have your number of new customers divided by that number to understand your lead goal. So we'll show you some examples shortly how these formulas work. But basically, these are your three main conversion rate formulas that you need to take into consideration when measuring your conversion rates. So this is how your formulas look, and let's spend some time to understand how they work, okay? So if we look at these three companies, we have company A, company B, and company C. We see that each of them, they have the same monthly site traffic of 10,000 visits this month. But we see quite clearly that their conversion rates differ. And why? It's because the number of leads they're generating is different. So for example, we just said about the conversion rate formula should be the number of leads divided by the monthly site traffic. So 100 divided by 10,000 gives you 1%. 200 divided by 10,000 gives you 2%, and 300 divided by 10,000 gives us 3%. So it's clear as the number of leads are increasing, our conversion rates are increasing. As well as your new customers. We talked about the net new customers we are attracting. So if you want to measure the net new customers that you're attracting, we talked just now about the formula where we said it's a new revenue goal divided by the average sales price. So we don't have the revenue goal here, but we can see that again, if we take the new customers and we divide it by the leads generated, we understand again how much of our conversion rates are being affected. Now, what's important about this is that most people, when they think about improving conversion rates, they think about increasing website traffic. And I purposely took this example because I want to show you that website traffic does not necessarily impact your conversion rates. You may have, if you're getting sufficiently good traffic, you may have to concentrate mostly on the content or your tactics in converting people. So we will talk about those strategies shortly, but I just want to put a full stop here and for us to soak in that we do not necessarily have to increase website traffic to increase our conversion rates, okay? So in this example, it was very clear that website traffic stayed stagnant, but the conversion rates increased because of the tactics these companies would have produced eventually. Now, this sheet I put in here, and I will share this with you again because I think it's important. This emphasizes exactly what I was trying to say earlier, where I mentioned that you have to have something to compare. Now, when you're doing conversion rates and when you're trying to figure out how to measure your conversion rates, what you're actually measuring or what you could consider measuring are also four things here. Your page load time, because these are things that affect your conversion rates. If your site is taking too long to load, then most people will leave your site. So you can look at your page load time by using these tools like Pingdom or Google Page Speed. And then you can put in your industry benchmark. So if you belong to marketing, if you belong to manufacturing, you can see what the load times of those types of company sites are like. And then you can check your company site and then decide how you need to improve. So if you see that you're below the industry benchmark for page load time, then you know you need to do certain things to improve your site speed. Your bounce rate, of course, you can check this as well on Google Analytics. It will also give you a way to estimate your industry benchmarks as well as your baseline. So you know, first of all, you don't even need an industry benchmark. Usually, if your bounce rate is anything above 60%, it needs improving. So most sites usually have bounce rates of 80%, especially if your home page is not sticky, then you definitely need to improve your bounce rates on your site. And then there's something called cross-device and cross-browser functionality. This is important because you have to remember today that many people are using mobile devices. They're not on their laptops or their desktops all the time. So you need to know if somebody is coming from your desktop to their mobile device, what is their experience like? Is it taking longer time to load? Are the functionalities the same? And you can use this platform, cross-browser testing, to see how you're performing against industries in your space, as well as how are you performing, and find ways to improve. Do not ignore the mobile experience, okay? No matter what industry or what kind of company you are in, people are visiting your site mostly on mobile. And then, of course, you can see the pure conversion rate. You can see that through Google Analytics, as we discussed using the formulas we mentioned. And there's a new platform, relatively new, that's called VWO. They will also give you some insights into what your conversion rates, but they usually work with bigger companies, right? So you have to have a lot of traffic and a lot of content on your site to see results. But the goal is they will tell you what your conversion rates are like. So now we want to show you how to use HubSpot specifically to convert it. And again, we didn't want to spend time just showing you different things randomly in HubSpot. We wanted to marry what we're going to show you with HubSpot with exact conversion rates optimization strategies you can implement right away. So we are showing you basically what you can do as well as how you do it within HubSpot. So this is the point of this section. So before I move on, let me check if I have questions or anybody has anything they would like to ask. But the goal is that we're going to jump in right now to how to use HubSpot to improve your conversion rates. Any questions before we move on? All right, great. So Gal will present this slide. Gal, do you have the screen?
Yeah.
Yes. So I will stop sharing, right?
Yes, please.
And you can share. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Risa, for the lovely introduction of everything, basically. But now it's the time to really understand how you're going to take these amazing steps and really implement it into your HubSpot and gain a real conversion rate out of it. So in order to do that, we're going to show you 8 steps that each and every one of them is going to focus on a different tool in HubSpot. That basically, if you'll implement few of them or all of them, of course, you'll see an, I don't want to say immediate increase, but you will see increase of your conversion rate because you'll be optimizing and do the best you can in order to capture these contacts. So the first one that we want to present is create text-based CTAs within a blog post. So it's not necessarily need to be in a blog post. You can create CTAs on your website, on emails, or basically everywhere you want. But let's focus today on blog posts. And because maybe a lot of your customers going to come to your blog because it's a really good place to source of information, so they can learn about you, your product, your services, everything basically that you believe in, you're going to put in your blog. So a lot of people are going to start with the blog because they want to understand who are you, what are you selling, what is your information that you're providing. And this is a good place for you to give them the option to convert from unknown person to a contact in your database. So of course you can use the subscribe blog form, but besides of that, you can really use a CTA that call them to do another action. For example, create, download another content, relevant content, or schedule a meeting with you. Basically everything that is relevant to this topic, you can connect. And in order to do that, let's navigate it into HubSpot marketing and then into lead capture. And here you see you have call to action, CTAs. And this is all the history of CTAs that we already have. But let's start from the beginning, how to create a call to action, a CTA button in HubSpot. So by clicking on the button, you'll see that I have two options that I can choose from. One of them is custom button. This is something that HTML, CSS, this is something that HubSpot is going to create for you. Or if you want something more designed, something that it will be aligned with your website, with your colors, everything that HubSpot can't really provide, you can put as an image button and just import it as a picture and basically play with the size of it. And this is everything you need. But let's start with the beginning of how to create a custom button. So in order to do that, as you can see, HubSpot is already giving me like a generic content, but I can change it for schedule demo, basically contact us, download the ebook, everything that is relevant for you and you want to put inside of this CTA. Make sure that it's not too long, so it won't like take the entire page or like sentence. Keep it short, keep it very call to action, do something. And once you figure out this is the time to choose the color of your brand color. You can, of course, take one of the plates or your favorite according to your HubSpot that you defined. Last time we present how to implement favorite colors in the settings. So of course, this is our color, so I'll choose this one. And you can choose how do you want this CTA to look like. If you want it to look simple, if you want to be primary, this is how they call it, or look like a pill, textured, basically everything that you want, you can choose from here. This is the way the button is going to look like. I prefer the generic way. And then of course I can click on, wait, it just take me the entire screen. The Zoom doesn't like me. Okay, next. After that, I can give my CTA a name. So I can find it later on, or I can recognize it from a lot of other call to action that I have. So I can use a specific blog post name that I put it inside, or a specific campaign that is relevant to, which is even better because then you can understand what is the call to action he's talking about. So for example, this one's going to be schedule a demo because this is what I'm asking people to do. And then I'm not going to create another one with the same link. And here's HubSpot giving you the option. What do you want to do with it? you want to create an external link or a meeting link or file or an email address, once to click on it, it will open them directly to an email, a phone number. Basically, you can have all the options that is relevant for you. I can just have, let's say, a meeting link. I can choose the one that is relevant for me. This is my name. And you can connect it to a specific campaign. So for example, if I have a scheduled demo or a newsletter case study that is relevant to, I can choose the one, and then I can see the conversion connected to this campaign. And then I can create reports according to which campaign works for me better. So it's important, and we say it every time, to connect every piece of asset that you have into the campaigns. So then you'll have a better view of the performance of the campaign. Let's say for now, this is my campaign, and then I can click on save. It shows me how this call to action is going to look like. And basically, this is the place for me to, so I can use it in the future. So if I'll go to landing pages or emails, or if my blog post is created in HubSpot, I can go there, and from the option I can choose to add, for example, I'll show you on a landing page, how can I add a call to action into it. No, of course, this one won't give me.
Yes, don't mess up my events page.
Yeah.
Just go draft. Quick draft.
I'll try to find something. You know what? Never mind. It's not that important. You can just go on the header and you can find it very quickly. Let's find it in one of the emails. Emails I can't mess, or it's not.
And you can. I'll think about it.
Oh, thank you. As you can see, I have here buttons. I can just add one.
In the image, you have to customize the CTAs itself. You pull the CTAs into pages mostly. So
yeah, but you can create one as well for emails. So basically, as we said, this is one of the options that you can create for call to actions. And
here, I just wanted to stress, because CTAs, as I mentioned before, are the most important part of your business and your campaign strategy, really. And most people use boring CTAs, like I said, download now or click here or submit. And you have to remember, your CTAs need to be action and benefit oriented. So action is download and click, but it's not benefiting, right? So nobody feels the urgency that we need to create. Nobody feels like, you know, why does I have to do this now? So if you say things like get my ebook or join the fun or let's talk, these are more action and benefited CTAs, you know. And some people go even more creative. I'm sure you've seen those pop-ups that say, you know, download this ebook now, and then you say, no thanks, I don't want to learn anymore, right? So when you click no, you feel kind of guilty, because you're like, what? They said I don't want to learn. I am a learner. I want to learn. I want to get this asset. So you suddenly feel more incentive to click the yes. So my point here is, don't be lazy in your CTA text. You have to make sure that you are creating something that is clickable, or like they say, you know, action oriented or action intentional. And then you will see more conversion rates, your conversion rates improving because of this. So this is just my point here I wanted to add.
Perfect. The second tool that we would like to present is basically the add lead flow to your blog. So a great way to create a flow in your blog, in your website, is by creating a pop-up form. Then a person is going, by scrolling or by exit intent, they want to leave the page, they're going to see a pop-up form that's going to ask them, wait, let's talk, it's time for us to meet, let's learn more, something like that, that will catch their eyes. You can use pictures, you can use some different color of text. So you can use something that is going to be very, very attractive for people not just read your content, but really connect with you with a different level, and not just a regular form that's inside embedded in your page. So by clicking on marketing and navigating into lead capture and forms, yeah, it's just like creating a regular form, but here you have the option to click on pop-up form. And basically, it's just like creating a regular form, but you can choose where do you want to locate it. If you want it to be on top or on the side of the screen, like in here, on the other side, or just in the middle of the page, is going to take the entire attention of the person. So try not to put it on each and every page, because a lot of people say, fine, let's do it on each and every page. Let's capture a lot of leads. But sometimes it depends on your audience. It's maybe tedious and maybe too much, and not a lot of people will going to have a good effect for it. So try to find the best pages for you to implement these forms, because otherwise it's still a form for you to try to connect with them. And if you can, try to connect it to the text and to the pages. Basically, you implement this page, the form on it. So once you choose the type, it's time to add a picture or the call out. This is the call out. What do you want it to say? Of course, you can add another text in the body to give another level of information. What do you want this text to say? If you want to have another, like a subtitle, to give like a different kind of information, or even an added value, this is the place for you. This is the CTA text. So you can, of course, like Rita said before, you can choose what do you want it to say, so it will capture the attention for the people, and not just in a regular way, like a subscribe or download or something generic. And of course, by choosing the color, your company color, you can make it even personalized. And then you can choose what you want this pop-up to show. If you want it to show a form or an external URL, this is what non-HubSpot URL means, or a HubSpot page, which means a landing page, file download, meeting, calendar invite. Basically, everything you want, you can create from here by clicking on Form Step. This is the place for me to choose what kind of information do you want this pop-up to show. You can have up till 4 or 5 fields that you can add, because it's still a pop-up, so you don't want to cover the entire page. And then, of course, you can add, for example, first name, last name, email, company, phone number, whatever information that you want to capture. This is the place for you to add. You can play with the places of each and every field. And this is the place for you because it's a different call to action now from the previous page. This is the place for you to think even further. What is the call to action? You can choose the same one, or you can think about something else. So it will connect more for the field and for the information that you want to connect. And you can add GDPR information. If you're GDPR compliant, you can have it here also according to your information. If it's in a different language, you can choose it here also. And of course, you can choose that once a person fills out this form, it will change automatically the lifecycle stage. It's not mandatory, it's something that it's optional, so it's up to you. Another nice thing, like in every other form, you have the CAPTCHA information, the spam prevention. So once I'll click on that, it will ask you to show that you're not a robot. For example, it will ask you questions or to fill out something, so it will know that basically you're a human being. And then you can choose what is the thank you message that you want to present. If it's just a generic one, thank you for subscription, you can take it further and add links to it or emoji or something. So you can say, thank you for subscription, here is more information, or here another, or here's my email, so you can connect with me on a private place. You can take it even further down. So try to be creative with it and try to connect with them. Like Rita said, in the thank you pages. This is another place for you to do an action with them, make them even connect with you even more. Because once they fill out the form, you don't need to finish the conversation with them. It's not like everything is finished. You can choose to connect with them or give them even more information. So think about what is relevant for you, what is relevant for your clients, and implement it here. You have the targeting, the place that basically you want to present the pop-up. So you can choose on which pages do you want to present it or to exclude. Of course, you can add exclusion page. And basically, this is the place for you to show even if you want it to be an exit intent or how long down the page it will scroll, or after several seconds it will present. So basically, this is the place for you to understand what kind of a pop-up form do you want to have. And this is the option. When do you want to present it? If you want it to not present it after a person, show it 1 day, 3 days, 1 week, 1 month after a day, so it won't be too much for them, so that every single time that they're going into your website, they're going to see that, even though they fill out the form or even though they click on the X. So try to figure out what is the best place for you. Of course, you can choose if you want to present it on mobile or tablets or laptops. Small screen mean phone or tablet. So think if it's relevant for your audience, and if not, of course, you can check that it will turn off. And you can see the preview. And if it's relevant and it's good, you can see it on the different stages here by clicking on the arrows. So if you feel comfortable with it and you think it's the right time, all you need to do is go and click on publish. Unlike every other system, the pop-up will just go live directly and you don't need to implement code or something else. So this was one of the great tools of HubSpot. And now we're going to present how basically, like Rita presented in the beginning, and talked about the thank you pages and why it's so important for people to take it to the next level and give people more information. So basically, even the landing page itself, even before they fill out the form, can be different to different people. You can create A/B tests on the landing page and present different information to different kind of people. It can go out from the CTA, from the content, from the title, from the images, from the form field, basically everything that you can think of that you want to change inside of the landing page in order to see which type of content, title, image working best for your clients. This is the time to think about it and basically implement. Because sometimes you think that your way is the best way and you see that all the other companies are doing something else, or you trying something new and you're not sure how it's going to affect your clients. So you don't need to take risk anymore. You can just do both 2 different pages, or just choose one thing that you're going to change. Like every A/B test, it's important not to change the entire page, use different templates, or change the image, change the font, change the content, and then you won't understand what affects your conversion rate. So in order to do that, of course, you need first to have a landing page that you created and it's live. And once I'll go, wait, I'll find my page. Teresa won't get mad, right, Teresa? Take go.
Very right. If you crash my site, I'm going to come and look for you, okay?
You know where to find me. So basically, once I decided to create a landing page, it doesn't matter if it's published yet or not. You can click on more. And as you can see here, you have run a test. So it will open the page and it will ask you what kind of test do you want. And of course, we'll choose A/B test and click on next. And this is the 2 versions. It will give you version A, version B. It will write here B, so you can understand which one you're working on each time. And as you can see, this is version B that I'm working on. I can change the background, I can change the header, I can change the text. If I have form in here, I can change it as well. And once I'll publish it, it will just split the link into two, and for example, present it to several people is one page, and for other people, it will present it in the other way. And it will be very reliable as the information will present you, so you can understand what works the best for your clients. And like every great A/B test, you can see the information and let's show you. So first of all, you can manage your test and choose the winning one once, of course, it's published and it's running. By clicking on here, it will present you the option to choose the winning version. See, you have test results. So in here, of course, you can choose the winner, as you can see here. You can choose which one of them is the winner, and by clicking on it, basically it will continue run only this landing page and this version to all the other clients. And even if you want to keep it running for several of weeks, it's okay. Try and see how is the result. But once you click on choose a winner, it will just present the winning one. And here you can see all the results for the views, submission, new contacts, customers. Like every other page, you can see all the information and see how you perform on each and every page, so you can learn to be better on other pages as well. So this was a really important one. As always, you can change the information based on specific time and frequency that you want to see. If you want to see based on each and every day or weekly or monthly, this is the places for you to do it. And not just landing pages is the place for you to test them. You can also create smart CTAs. As we said in the beginning, a CTA is a great place for you to convert more contacts based on amazing ideas and amazing sentence like Rita presents that will capture their information and make sure that the contact is not always feeling guilty, not to want to learn more, Risa, because people have life sometimes, but also that they have something to lose, or that they can't wait to read it or to do this action because it will change their life. Like Rita said, she needed to go and bring her credit card and fill out the information in order to buy it, so she won't lose the amazing offer. And sorry, but who of us never find it useful to just remember the credit card number, or or basically it's the urgent way for you. So a smart CTA is a place for you to create a conversion place based on the contact information. So it can be based on the device type. For example, if they're coming from a mobile, so present something that's going to look in one way, or if they're coming from a laptop, it will look a different way, or if they're coming from a different life cycle stage, these contacts are going to be in your database. So it will capture the information first, and once they'll go back into your website, and let's say a customer will see it in one way and one call to action, and leads and MQL is going to look different kind of call to action completely. You can use different kind of based on country. Think about it that a language that is relevant in UK is not always the term that we're using in the States or even in Israel, or basically each and every country have their own terminology. So you can choose to use that based on the country. So you have here 6 options. And in order to do that, we'll navigate into marketing, link captures, and call to action. And basically, you can change every call to action that you have on your HubSpot to be a smart CTA. So by click on action, you see that I have here create smart version, and it will ask you what type of smart CTA do you want it to be based on. So for example, I want it to be based on country. You can choose the country that you want. I'll choose Australia and click on next. And of course, you can redesign it differently from the original one. So all the rest will going to see it in one way, and the people from Australia are going to see that not in yellow, but in purple, because this is the color for them and they prefer purple instead of yellow. And you can, of course, take it to advanced options and change the way this CTAs look like. If you know CSS, you can add the CSS code in here. Of course, you can change the information. So for example, people from Australia, I'm not the owner and I don't want them to schedule a meeting with me because I'm staying in Israel, and I prefer them to meet with Risa because she's international. So I'll just put Risa's information. And every time that people from Australia are going to click on it, they will see Risa's meeting link. And of course, I'm going to connect it to the same campaign or a different campaign. It's basically up to you. And they click on save, it will save the information. And as you can see, you have add another smart version if you want it to be separate to another country. So for example, UK, United States, every place in the world, you can change it. And of course, you don't have to be necessarily you don't have necessarily to do it once. You can start with creating one smart CTA and then edit as going if you see that you have a good reaction to it. But really think about your audience and the segmentation that you want to create. And I think it's a good place for you to really talk to your audience and in a smart way. And of course, one of the amazing tools that HubSpot is providing, not just call to actions and landing pages and tasks, is how to segment the information in order to give your team, your internal team, your sales, your SDRs, your marketing team, a really good view of the information that you're collecting on the different call to action forms, pop-ups, basically everything. So in order to do that, it's first of all important to understand what is the goals and who should be the owner and how to segment the information. So for example, I'm the owner for a contact that's coming from Israel and Europe, and unlike me, we have Risa that is in charge for US. So basically, you need to understand how's your team and what is the information that is relevant for them. Define the goals. What is relevant? What do you want to achieve by creating this workflow? So for example, you want to notify them, change the owner from in the different stages. Do you want to change the lifecycle stage? Basically, you can create a lot of complexity or simplicity inside of these workflows as you need. But think about these 4 steps before you start creating these workflows. And the most important thing, after you create it, all the assets you need and the workflow, analyze the performance. See that it continue and it's working according to what you defined and the way you want it to basically perform. Ask your team if they're receiving the notification, if it's the right information for them, if they wanted to act differently. Maybe they don't want to get a notification for each and every contact. They just want to receive an internal message inside of HubSpot, or basically any kind of information if you want them to change automatically fields inside of it. So we showed that in the past how to create a complexity inside of workflows. So I'm just going to show you clients of us that implement it. And basically, you don't have to make it too complex, but you can really make it talk to your needs. So as you can see here, we just checked that the create date is known. We checked according to the lifecycle stage, and for each relevant one, we assign it to the right owner. So subscriber and leads and MQLs and evangelists and other are going to go to David, and SQLs are going to Door and customers. And on specific information, like you see here, they have a subscription end date for their app. So according to this information, if this person is a client and in the future, so assign it to Ortal. So basically, you can create it according to life cycle stages, according to countries, basically according to each and everything that is relevant for you. In here, they just assigned it, but you can, of course, make even more changes, like change fields, send notifications, basically everything you want. So just keep that in mind. And of course, analyze everything. You can go here and see the performance and the history. And if you see errors, so this is the time for you to understand what was the error, what caused that, so it won't happen in the future anymore. But we're not going to make that, I'm not going to explain even more because we already explained how to create workflows on our previous ones. So let's just talk about how to add chats inside of conversation in pages. So we talked about it also in the past, but I found it very useful. Today, more than ever, clients need you to be there, to be in the place that they're basically looking for. So for social media or Facebook, LinkedIn, on your website, they want to have a direct channel to talk to you, to ask questions, to find a quick solution to their questions, or even a specific information that you're going to provide them. So HubSpot, unlike any other tool, is not require any code to implement it. It's very, very simple. And why it's so great? Because you can give them a couple of options to choose from and continue from this. And you can start with just ask them a few questions, and if they answer in one way, you can direct them to talk with salesperson if they're of course available in the time that you define that they're going to be there. So I know that Teresa said in the beginning that a lot of people told you about COVID and working from home, but it affects a lot of customers, and the way companies basically act according to that is that they became more available. They respond more. They give you all the options to connect with them. They give you the option to call them or to have a live chat with them, or even to see Facebook Live with like questions that you can ask. This is all the amazing places that you can connect with your clients, but chat is giving you the option not to be live all the time, but creating a scenario that is relevant for a lot of your clients or a lot of the visitors in your website. So for example, I'll show you one of our clients that implement a chat in the website. And of course, we check that the different scenarios and see that is relevant for them. But they just said, hi, how can we help you today? Give you a few options. And if you decided to, I want to speak to a live representative, it will ask you a few questions. And if you find it suitable and contain the right information and it's on the right time, they will direct you to talk to a live representative. So you have different scenarios, and you can, of course, set them a partner and continue to talk to them. And they're going to ask you here, like you see, they give me information to call. I can start all over again and said, oh, you know what? I'm I'm a merchant because I want to talk to a person, it will ask me my name. This is the pop-up that they created. They'll ask me my name in order to connect me to a person. They ask me few questions to give me the right information. So you can create different scenarios in order to do that and give your audience the personality that they need. Like you see before, I click on partner and it gives me a direct phone to the partner department. And if I'm a merchant, it will give me a different scenario. So you can make it as deep and informative as you want to give your clients the best connection to you. One before the last one is basically two tools that can give you a lot of information. Both of them we presented in the past, but I think that it's right time to remind it that HubSpot is all about conversion, and in the end, it gives you much wider picture of your effort. So if you're connecting your social media and your campaigns and your ads all into HubSpot, you're going to see a bigger picture, especially if you're using blogs in HubSpot and the SEO tool. So we're just going to quickly look at it. For the SEO tool, we presented on last time, but by clicking on marketing, navigating into planning and strategy and click on SEO, you can see how basically I can connect different topics. I can connect my Google Search Console. I can see how I perform on different places. I see a recommendation that HubSpot is giving me how basically I can make these pages better according to information and what was the reason and how it's going to affect. And I click on view pages, you can see what pages are infected by these changes that I need to do. And I can click on fix on editor and make the changes or view duplicates if I have duplicate pages. So basically, HubSpot is giving you a really good place to analyze the information without the first need to take an SEO company. This is a great place for you to start to understand the different terminology, the different kind of information that is SEO and how SEO is affecting your pages. And of course, you can connect your SEO company if you're working with one into HubSpot, and they can see how they want to improve your information because HubSpot is giving them the information. So you can see even the information, not just in this criteria, but on landing pages. So by navigating into a specific landing page, click on edit, and you see here on the top, I have optimized. You can see here the suggestion that HubSpot is giving me how to make this page work better. So they said that I need to improve my meta description. So by navigating to settings, I can go here to the meta description and make it shorter. So it will be aligned with the best practices of SEO and could give you a lot of good knowledge about it. And another way is by see the top performing blogs. Only if you're publishing your blogs in HubSpot, this is the place for you. What are the best performance content that you're providing in the blog section? What are people read more? And of course, it can give you an information. What kind of content do you want to create in the future? So if you want to create something about a specific topic, you can go and search for it in the SEO tool and implement it in the blog that you're creating. So by navigating into our system, let's see. You can see here we have the blog post. I can change it to landing pages, but now let's focus on blog posts. You can see the performance, and of course you can see the different blog posts that we have, how many views, the entrances, how many times people are basically depending on each and every page, the bounce rate, the publish date. Basically, you see all the information in one place, so it can give you a really good view of your content and your effort that you're putting inside of creating this content. And if you see that the topic is just not relevant and you see a high bounce rate, you can start rethink about your process. Maybe you need to change it. Maybe you need to create a new value for it. And the last information is basically how to leverage people who are coming back to your website, because a lot of the people that visiting your website once probably going to come once or twice or even a couple of times during their specific time frame, for example, 1 week, 1 month. So it's important to capture them and give them different kind of information, because these people probably are interested in what you're selling and in your information that you're providing. If they're coming back to your blogs or download several of the forms of content, register to your webinars, it means that these people are really relevant, and it's time for you to capture these people and do something with it. So by navigating into content and create lists, we can of course base it by last page seen or different kind of information that you want to capture. So let's say you can see last activity date, or let's see, last page seen. And of course, you can choose a specific one that they saw on your page, on your website, sorry. And once you do that, you can capture a lot of people. So for example, if you want to see who are the people who came back from your blog, so if I'll do like slash blog slash that contains slash blog slash, I will get these people, and of course I need to give this list a name and save it, and I'll see all the information. And once you do that, you can create workflows that give these people a different kind of information, or because of the segmentation. So all of these action and tools that HubSpot is providing you is giving you 8 steps of how you can provide your clients, your returning visitors, your people from different countries or life cycle stages, and of course your team, a better view of you and your process. So
amazing, Gal. Oh my goodness, how did you do all of this work? I'm
crazy.
tired knowing you prepared all of this. Amazing. Thank you so much for taking us through this. So guys, you have a mouthful from Gal about all the things you can do to improve your conversions in HubSpot. I know most of it probably went over your head because it's a lot. So you have the recording to go through it, and you will have those 8 points to look at. But I also wanted to give you some extra pointers that's not specifically related to HubSpot, but generally on things you can do to also improve your conversion rates, and really quick fixes that doesn't demand that you know HubSpot or you know a lot of things, but just a couple tools that I think can really help you, because as I said, this is one of the most important areas for marketers, and it's the most painful usually. So let's just dive right in and spend the last couple minutes looking at what you can do right now. So first of all, one of the most popular things of why your conversion rates perform poorly, it's because your web copy sucks. Sorry to say it. But I'll show you an example of what I mean a web copy sucks. And this is one of my clients, so it's sad that I have to be not that nice, but they're good people and I'm trying to improve on them. But if you go to a company like this, and this is an amazing company that does great things, first of all, you would see that they have way too much information on this site. And everywhere you look, it's a CTA button, right? Everything is to do something. Every minute, they're trying to get people to do things. And this is their homepage. So there's no way that people are going to come on this site and convert, even though what they're doing, they do have good traffic and they do actually have good results. But to really improve this site and get it to where it needs to be, we actually have to clean this up. So if your site looks anything like this, know it's way too much information for your target audience, and you have to figure out how to clean this up and make your copy a bit more concise and much clearer than this. All right. The next thing that I want to stress about is, as we just talked and mentioned about the CTAs, so have less CTAs, but also make them action benefit, as we talked about earlier. So make sure they are really associating people. So if you could just go right now and change 1 or 2 CTAs on your site and to see if the conversion rates improve. So any download now buttons or learn more buttons, try to come up with something a bit more action and benefit oriented and see if your conversion rates improve because of that. One more thing that we want to talk about is about website forms. Okay, I know you want all the information about your contacts, but it is not the time to really try to extract every drip of information about them on the first visit. As I said to you in the beginning of this course, your marketing strategy has to be like your dating game. And if you're single and not married, now I understand if your marketing could match that, okay? So guys, you
Don't
have
be
to make sure.
mean.
I'm not mean, I'm just giving them
It's
tips.
hard. It's
I'm
hard
giving
to
them
be
tips.
single, honey.
I'm
It's
giving you
hard.
tips how to get your husband, okay? Make your questions shorter. When you go on that first date, just ask the mandatory questions. 3 questions and shut up. So this is the same thing for your date, for your forms. You need to ask 3 fields and don't say anything more after that. Let the person invite you to a second date. Let the person come back to your website and then ask another 2 questions, okay? So you cannot, purge yourself on your website and try to ask everything, because people get turned off and they don't want to enter all this information. Besides just not giving you so much information about themselves, it's tiring. Who wants to spend time filling out a form with 15 steps? One other thing is also about making sure your value proposition is very clear. Just this morning, we came from a meeting where, the team began arguing in front of us about what is their value. They couldn't agree on a USP in their messaging. So if you find this type of, antics within your company where you have very different views about what your company is messaging, or even what products they should be selling and how they should position themselves, I suggest you spend time doing it. And as Gal just showed you, you can use things like smart CTAs and A/B test landing pages to really check it out and see if it works and which messaging works. But the point is, don't get married to any one messaging or one USP. You have to test different things and see what makes your audience bite.
And analyze. Remember, analyze everything. The key for all your efforts, your content that you're writing, your A/B testing, your emails, everything that you're doing, especially if you're putting money on it, like creating ads and paying for other people to design it, it's to analyze. So remember it.
Yes, good point. Couple things I want to stress that we didn't really mention was about adding incentives, right? So if somebody, download something, give them something extra, or tell them what they will get extra if they download this, or if they sign up for your webinars, try to add some type of incentive. I know as B2B companies, we are very budget conscious, so we don't want to add too many gifts to our stuff, but we have to be creative in terms of how it is we figure out how to get people to take action on our site. So there's always something you can give more. There's always something you can think of more to give your audience. And one of the last things that, we didn't talk about before that I want to mention here is about improving trust. So a lot of B2B companies win a lot of awards, or they get mentioned by specific publications. These are all things to highlight on your landing pages or anywhere that you have a CTA. Make sure to position those awards. Make sure to position those publications that you are published on close to the CTAs, so people feel that they're dealing with a credible company and that other people think you're great as well. So these are things I just want you to check out if you can switch off quickly and see if your conversion rates improve. Now, to just talk about other tools, because HubSpot, as great as it is not the end and be it all, okay? There are other things you can do to help your conversion rates. And I just want to spend time talking about these 3 companies that we basically work with now, and we see the conversion rates improve. So we have Lusha, and what is Lusha? Lusha is a platform that allows you to implement short forms. So for example, you can just use their plugin and ask for their email address, and I will show you an example because it's actually on one of my landing pages. So if I go to like a landing page, just for you to see how it works. This one, all right? So you would notice in my landing pages now, I just asked for this. This is a Lusha form, right? So I'm only asking people to enter their work emails. Now, if they don't have a work email and they try to enter like Gmail, what would happen is that this pop-up form will come up that they will have to enter their name and everything. But if it is that I know their work email already and they enter something that is already known, then all they need to do is enter their email. And even though it's the first time they're visiting my website, then I would be able to still see what they're doing. And it's easy for me to get the information about them because Lusha has collected that information already. So this is one quick way for them to understand how to get the information on, for you to collect more information, sorry, about your contacts. Another one I want to show you quickly is Vidyard. Now, Vidyard is a video platform, and what I liked about Vidyard is basically they had some very cool webinars. If I could find you one, I didn't save it before, but all right, so check this video they sent me, and this is made from the Vidyard tool. So basically what he did was go on my website and really taped about, you know, how Vidyard can help my website become better. And it was a tool where he's taping his video right inside of my website, showing me different things he's doing, and then sending it to me in an email. So the email appeared just like this, right? And immediately I saw this email and I clicked and I booked a meeting with him because I was like, okay, somebody took time to go on my website and record this video. So this is a good way, exactly. I've implemented this for my clients now who are having trouble getting meetings for their sales teams. So what their sales teams do is for hot customers or hot prospects that they really want to have meetings with, they do take the time and go to their site or find some asset that's related to them, do this video and send this video in their emails, and then ask, you know, let's connect or let's have a meeting. And the response rates have like literally tripled because of this. So it is not something to use for every lead, but at least leads who are in the process of closing deals with you, you want to make sure you stay on top of mind and stay relevant for them. So this is a great tool to use. The other tool that I talked to you about is Surveycate. And what Surveycate does, it's really an NPS tool, which means that it's giving you a way to put surveys on your site. So what you can do now, for example, you will have basically a short survey that can pop up on your website that will ask you things like, what was your experience on this website, rated from 1 to 5, and the person just has to click 1 to 5. So it's like a really cool, it's a really cool way to collect information and feedback from your customers as you see how it works. It can work on mobile and everything. So here again, it improves your conversion rates because you're not required to enter a form or anything. They can just click and answer your different surveys so you can collect information about them. So I didn't want to overwhelm you. There are many, many more tools I use, but I think these are 3 new tools we've recently begun using, and it's not that popular yet. So it's a good time for you to begin using these types of tools so you can see better interactions and better conversions for your clients and for your leads, okay? So as always, we've come to the end of our workshop. Let me see if I have questions, any questions, anybody wants to say anything? I know we covered a whole lot, but if you have questions, just pop it in. But if you have more questions, you can again post it in the group for us on LinkedIn or contact Gal. She'd be very happy to answer them. So, but post your, we prefer that you post your questions in the LinkedIn group because other people can see it and benefit from the answers that we are giving. And again, I asked when I send you the email, we are collecting reviews for our HubSpot partner page. Again, we want to do a series of these webinars in September, and the next one will be focused on sales specifically. So if you give us good reviews and we could encourage more people to join, this would be great. And HubSpot as well will, give us more resources to host them. So please take the time to do it. Great. So thank you guys again for everything. And again, I will be posting this last challenge for us. What I want you to do this week is try to implement at least just one tactic that I have listed here to improve your conversion rates, okay? So do implement one of them, try to switch off something that's easy, and let's see how it works for you. So thank you guys, and have a great, great week, and you shall have the recording by tomorrow latest, if not tonight.
Enjoy.
Thanks again. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.